In Norse mythology, Ratatoskr, Old Norse, generally considered to mean drill tooth or boar tooth, is a squirrel who runs up and down the world tree Yggdrasil to carry messages between the Veðrfölnir, perched atop Yggdrasil, and the wyrm Níðhöggr, who dwells beneath one of the three roots of the tree. Ratatoskr is attested in the Poetic Edda, compiled in the 13th century from earlier traditional sources, and the Prose Edda, written in the 13th century by Snorri Sturluson. Etymology: the name Ratatoskr contains two elements, rata and toskr. The element toskr is generally held to mean tusk. Guthbrand of Vigfússon theorized that the ratty element means the traveler. He says that the name of the legendary drill ratty may feature the same term. According to Vigfússon, Ratatoskr means tusk the traveler, or the climber tusk. Quote, Sophis Bugger theorized that the name Ratatoskr is a loanword from Old English meaning rat tooth. Bugger's basis hinges on the fact that the toskr element of the compound does not appear anywhere else in Old Norse. Bugger proposed that the toskr element is a reformation of the Old English word tusc, Old Frisian tusk, and, in turn, that the element rata represents Old English rare, rat. According to Albert Sturluson, quote, as far as the element rata is concerned, Bugger's hypothesis has no valid foundation in view of the fact that the Old Norse word rata, gen, form of Ratatoskr, is used in Hav. Imal 106. 1. To signify the instrument which Odin employed for boring his way through the rocks in quest of the poet's mead, and that Ratatoskr must then be considered a native Old Norse word meaning the borer, Noah. Quote, Sturluson says that Bugger's theory regarding the element toskr may appear to be supported by the fact that the word does not appear elsewhere in Old Norse. Sturluson, however, disagrees. Sturluson says that the Old Norse proper name tun, derived from Proto-Norse *tunth, refers to a person who is characterized as having some peculiar sort of tooth, and theorizes a Proto-Germanic form of toskr. Sturluson concludes that the fact that the Old Norse word occurs only in the name Ratatoskr is no valid evidence against this assumption, for there are many Old Norse hapax legomena of native origin, as is attested by the equivalents in the modern Scandinavian dialects. Modern scholars have accepted this etymology, listing the name Ratatoskr as meaning drill tooth. Jesse Bayek, Andy Orchard, Rudolf Simek, or boar tooth. John Lindo. Attestations. In the Poetic Edda poem Grimnismal, the god Odin, disguised as Grimnir, says that Ratatoskr runs up and down Yggdrasil bringing messages between the eagle perched atop it and Níðhöggr below it. Ratatoskr is described in the Prose Edda's Beginnings chapter 16, in which High states that an eagle sits at the top of the ash, and it has knowledge of many things. Between its eyes sits the hawk called Veðrfölnir. The squirrel called Ratatoskr runs up and down the ash. He tells slanderous gossip, provoking the eagle and Níðhöggr. Theories. According to Rudolf Simek, the squirrel probably only represents an embellishing detail to the mythological picture of the world ash in Grimnismal. Hilda Ellis Davidson, describing the world tree, states the squirrel is said to gnaw at it, furthering a continual destruction and regrowth cycle, and posits the tree symbolizes ever-changing existence. John Lindo points out that Yggdrasil is described as rotting on one side and as being chewed on by four hearts and Níðhöggr, and that, according to the account in Beginning, it also bears verbal hostility in the fauna it supports. Lindo adds that, in the sagas, A person who helps stir up or keep feuds alive by ferrying words of malice between the participants is seldom one of high status, which may explain the assignment of this role in the mythology to a relatively insignificant animal. Richard W. Thorington Jr. and Katie Farrell theorize that the role of Ratatoskr probably derived from the habit of European tree squirrels, Squirrus vulgaris, to give a scolding alarm call in response to danger. It takes little imagination for you to think that the squirrel is saying nasty things about you. Quote notes